Myers the fourth. I'm very curious about this man. Incel and a degenerate?
Marshal Mathers IV.
She would run away in fear and terror and horror. She replied very soon with,
Okay.
you.
First of all, who let Agent 47 start a YouTube channel? What the fuck is going on? Is this what Agent 47 is doing in between hits?
Ugly, potato-headed looking N-word. I mean, also, my dream girl would also be a girl who would burp in my ears. I mean, oh my God. More hostile, more angry, more full of rage and hatred, more envious, more jealous.
Isaac Holmes, also known as Marshal Mathers IV, the Black-Pilled Joker, and Darth Nihilus, is a 27-year-old content creator from the United States. Isaac lives with his family of 2 very religious parents and 7 siblings, most of which still live at home.
7? Fuck.
Their family is solely...
You know, in big families like that, though, they typically stay at home for a long time. Like, I feel like families that get over, I say like 4 kids, when you start getting the 5, 6, 7 range, 8, 9, they be at home way longer than like people who have kids from 4 and under. You know, like
supported by the father, who is a prison doctor. And due to the size of the family, finances are pretty tight. Despite this, Isaac has held very few jobs in his lifetime, claiming it is either due to a lack of transportation or an overabundance of bodily functions. He also blames a lot of this on the fact that he is a high school dropout. Isaac claims that he left school due to a combination of bullying and not being able to find a girlfriend. Sucks. That last bit in particular eats Isaac alive. And
you know, a girlfriend isn't required to get through high school. You don't need, you know, I guess you get bullied so bad, you're like, fuck it, I can't deal with high school anymore. That's sad as fuck. But you don't need to have a girlfriend to get through high school, man. You know what I'm saying?
Years after leaving high school, he would create a YouTube channel called Marshal Mathers IV. It was there that he displayed his general hate towards everything, especially women, who he seemed to blame for not wanting to be his girlfriend.
I mean, look at you. Like, look at this nigga.
Marshal Mathers IV is a YouTube channel that was created by Isaac back in 2014. Its content would mostly consist of him sitting in front of a camera and telling people why he...
Do you know what he looks like? Bro, what game is that? Oh my god, what game? It's some survival game. Hold on.
Hated certain things. Initially, it started off innocent enough, with his first video being Why I Hate the Movie Cars. Pixar's Cars is a beloved movie by kids and adults alike, so people were very curious as to why he hated it. Isaac claims it is because there is a joke in the movie that he does not think is funny, nor should be a laughing matter, and that's farts. Isaac took issue with the fact that Mater was rusty and immature, and that he liked to tip the cows that were tractors in the movie, which once tipped farted. To him, none of this was a laughing matter. In fact, all of these topics were quite serious. It would not be until later that we would realize just how deep that rabbit hole went. For now, Isaac's content consisted mainly of him discussing various topics and items that he absolutely despised, most hilarious of which being the microwave.
I believe strong.
Nigga, how you got beef with a microwave? First, alright, maybe I could get maybe not liking Cars. Actually, I don't get that at all. Cars is actually one of the best movies ever created. Cars 1 and 2. How the fuck are you beefing with appliances? What?
Strongly that microwaves cause cancer, for 1. For 2, I believe that they emit radiation, even though everybody says that the holes are too small for radiation to leak out. And of course, people say that microwaves don't cause cancer either, because what scientists have proved or whatever or said. But I absolutely, positively hate microwaves. And if I could, of course, if time machines existed, I'd go back in time and at least try to stop the idiot who invented them in the first place, because I think they're the worst and most terrible invention.
This nigga looked like a character out of The Forest. Oh my god, I had to scratch my brain for this motherfucker. Look, this is exactly what he looked like. Right here. That's exactly what he looks like.
Ever invented. And if I were to ever have friends, I would hope that they would hate microwaves. Otherwise, our friendship would be toxic.
I can see why girls don't want to date you, man. You know what I'm saying? Could you imagine a nigga bringing this up on your first date? Yeah, I fucking despise microwaves. Something that's in every house ever.
And I would hope if I ever had a girlfriend, or
in the 20th century,
for that matter, a wife, I would hope to God she too would hate the microwave, because otherwise it'd be a toxic relationship, and that marriage would definitely end very quickly.
Damn, is this really that much of a deal
they give off when they're
that's crazy.
Going or working, and I hate the light that comes on when it's heating up your food. And microwaves are just absolutely wretched. They don't actually cook food, they just warm it up.
Isaac does have some fair points there. Not about microwaves causing cancer. There is absolutely no proof behind that. Mainly about the fact that microwaves just heat up food, they don't cook it. I'm not going to debate him on the inferiority of microwaved foods because he's right. When something's microwaved, it's just not the same as when it's cooked fresh. But I am baffled at the fact that one of the prerequisites for his girlfriend is that they have to despise the microwave and refrain from using it in any capacity around him. And this is not the only requirement to be his girlfriend. In fact, that list is quite long and seems to extend by the day, because this would become one of the major focal points of his content moving forward, proclaiming his absolute hate towards women for rejecting him and not wanting to be in a relationship, along with couples who he would see in public, claiming that the mere sight of their happiness would cause him great emotional torment. You will notice that his attitude is very negative and that he very rarely has anything positive to say. So it's not surprising that instead of taking advice, he would rather insult himself and explain to us why no woman would ever want to be in a relationship with him. Because believe it or not, he has a definitive answer as to why none of the chicks he likes will ever be interested in him. And it's not what you'd expect.
I'm ugly, to be honest, and I know a lot of you say that I'm a genetic Chad or that I'm good looking or handsome.
Okay, he's not ugly, he's not awful looking. But his monotone voice, the fact that he's so negative, like genuinely, you gotta put positive energy out. You gotta try to put as much positive energy out as much as you can, or you're gonna end up like this nigga, just hate everything, no bitches, no friends, just you and the camera. Well, damn.
Or whatever, and it's not like the first time people in my life have said that to me, but I'm gonna show you something that none of you have really ever seen.
Okay.
I have a deformed nose on my right side. I feel like if I ever were to get a girlfriend...
Bro, what? Bro.
I
have a deformed nose on my right side. I didn't see jack shit. What did you just point out? Maybe because this side is a little smaller?
I have a feeling like she would run away in fear and terror and horror because of that. Because the kind and type of girls that are just
bitches. Hold on.
Way out of my league.
Many times people have tried to explain to Isaac that he is not an ugly person, and that it is most likely his pessimistic attitude that is driving off the majority of his potential girlfriends. But he refuses to take any advice. In fact, he makes it a general point to ignore all advice, questioning why anyone who disagreed with him on anything would even...
I'm kind of the same way. I despise advice. I don't know what it is. I hate getting advice. Especially from a nigga that's the same age as me or just slightly older. I will only accept advice from somebody that is, I don't know, like 30 years older than me. I'll say like 10, 15. I just hate when niggas who are my age try to give me advice. Shut the fuck up. But this guy's talking, bro. This nigga is able to get bitches. I promise you. I promise you. Anybody could do it. Anybody could do it. This dapper gentleman right here has had multiple girlfriends. This is one of them. I'm not saying they good looking women, but he's had multiple girlfriends. You know what I think his problem is? He's probably a little picky with his women. He's probably
Even be subscribed to his YouTube channel.
Honestly, I don't even think I should have any subscribers at all. I don't think I deserve even one subscriber. Unless that person, whoever he or she is gonna full on completely agree with me in everything I say or think.
Yeah, bro. Or yeah, you're never gonna pull up, bro. You're never gonna fully agree with anyone on anything. Like, that's never gonna happen. Nigga, you just wanna fuck yourself, son. You just want a clone of yourself. You're never gonna find somebody like that.
Believe. Otherwise, they should just leave.
Because of this mindset and many of the beliefs that he has, Isaac is a self-identified black-pilled incel. The Webster Dictionary describes incel as a person, usually a man, who regards themselves as involuntarily celibate and typically expresses extreme resentment and hostility towards those who are sexually active. Know Your Meme describes the black pill or black-pilled as a metaphorical term often used to describe a set of beliefs often linked to nihilism, fatalism, and defeatism. Online, the black pill is commonly associated with incels and 4chan users, referred to as doomers, while the red pill is often used in the context of men's rights or right-wing politics. The black pill is usually used in a more general existential context. Isaac falls well within these categories, and he himself has proclaimed to be both of these things. On numerous occasions, he has talked about his disdain for people who do not save themselves for marriage, specifically referring to young people and young couples quite often. He says that he has absolutely no problem seeing an old couple out in public, but if he sees a young couple, it emotionally devastates him. Something very interesting I've noticed about Isaac is that he seems to equate jealousy to hatred. Whenever he is feeling jealousy, he will either find someone or something to claim that he hates. And this doesn't just pertain to romantic partners either. It could be about anything he sees that he himself does not have, especially luxury goods. Isaac has an obsession with owning a $10,000 gaming PC. He has been talking about it for years now, sometimes moving down the price, but usually sticking to around $10,000 as his dream system. He claims that he saw this as he was browsing the internet one day and hasn't been able to get it out of his mind. And after seeing that other YouTubers like PewDiePie and Markiplier actually had these systems, he began to truly hate them. Not for any of their beliefs or anything that they had done, just merely based on the fact that they had what he would never.
Bro, his parents can't be his life. Cause how do you hate this much? How do you hate somebody just because of the PC they have? Jealousy is a completely valid feeling to have. Everybody gets jealous. Everybody gets jealous. This nigga right here. Bro, where is his parents? I need to know about his childhood. Because his parents couldn't, he has 7 siblings. I wonder, is he the youngest? Like, is he near like the end? Or like in the middle somewhere? He's probably in the middle somewhere amongst his siblings. Because this nigga, his parents couldn't have showed him a lot of love and gift giving and this type of shit. Because he hates everything and everyone.
And then throughout the years, when I was older, like 17, 18, 19, and so on and so forth, I got even more bitter, more hostile, more angry, more full of rage and hatred, more envious, more jealous, and I would take to YouTube in the comment section a lot to lash out against people who have that stuff that I never did and who got to experience it and have it themselves as their own. And then I would also think of stuff like my spoiled, rotten, overly privileged cousins, 2 in particular, who live in California. And
I gotta speed it up because I want to finish this video before I have to leave.
Then, of course, at the very top, I started thinking about all the famous YouTube gamers on the YouTube platform that I hate with all my heart. And
All these artists.
am extremely jealous and envious of, and they're definitely the most people that I'm the most jealous and envious of. Like, it affects me emotionally and mentally to even know that not only they exist, but how many of them there are.
There are two things that seem to rule his mind. They're never far from his thoughts: his lack of a girlfriend and his lack of a $10,000 gaming PC.
Is he
I don't even
trying
think
to
I
get a
can begin to
girlfriend, though?
describe to you just how highly
Like, niggas like this will complain about how they just can't get any women when girls don't like them at all, and this and that. But then they're also not trying to get a girlfriend at the same time. They're not like, putting energy into it. Nigga, are you going to Walmart? I don't know. Are you trying to go pool? Are you just in the forest all the time, all day?
he holds the ownership of a laptop. He claims that him not owning a laptop is why he can't get a job. He claims that it's the reason he's getting radiation burns from his phone. He claims that he will never be able to truly experience life until he owns that $10,000 gaming PC.
I just want to say that my future is hopeless, and that is a fact. And you know how I know that?
It definitely is. It is.
Here's how I know. For one, I have absolutely no full-on complete access to a computer, whether that being a desktop or a laptop. I have no access to
The library solved your issue already.
Wi-Fi, not even on my own phone, and even if I did, I obviously wouldn't use it to apply for jobs online because the screen is too small, as well as the entire cell phone, obviously knowing that it's a shitty-ass mobile device. And not to mention, it gives me radiation burns, which is the worst thing, that I have to end up popping with the needle to get the pus out because it's highly annoying and irritating. And also, it gives me stress and anxiety. Like all mobile devices, actually, in general, give me massive, extreme anxiety and stress.
His lack of a gaming PC is only eclipsed by his lack of a girlfriend, which consumes his thoughts all the time. And that is what the vast majority of his content consists of. Him hopping on the camera, explaining why it is not even possible for him to get a girlfriend, and why it is society's fault instead. Maybe we'll get a Joker quote here and there, or a threat to one of his trolls, or maybe he will say something absolutely wild. Because while he is thinking and reminiscing about all of these things, he is in no way, shape, or form afraid to tell us exactly the kind of woman that he is after, and exactly what they would have to do to make him happy in a relationship. A fair warning, if any of you are eating, this is probably the point in the video to stop, because from this point forward, things are going to get pretty unappetizing.
But niggas like this, for real though, like, we need to watch things like this, for real. Because these are the type of dudes that go out sexually assaulting women and kids and just doing crazy shit. Because they can't get none. Real shit, bro. Just go hire a prostitute, man. just go hire a prostitute. It's cool. You supporting small businesses. It's cool. Also, you want to get a girlfriend, lower your standards, man. Because you are not. I'm not gonna lie. You are not that guy.
But also extremely entertaining. You see, Isaac has a set of requirements for any woman that would ever be his girlfriend. First of all, they have to be completely pure, having done nothing with any other partner in the past. Secondly, he would prefer them to be either African American or Latina. And the final requirement...
Oh, you like him some chocolate? Okay. Hey, usually dudes like this are racist as fuck. I'm talking about they hate niggas. Niggas don't gotta do nothing to them and they hate them anyway. Like incels. These type of niggas usually are racist as fuck. This guy, you want some chocolate or a little Latino? Okay.
Requirements are a little bit more tricky, so I think I'll just let Isaac himself explain them to you.
And also, when it comes to also burping and farting, I would, like, let's say I had, like, chips or a bag of cereal or something. If she were to, like, burp in a bag of chips and roll it up, or fart in a bag of chips and roll it up, and I would still eat that shit. I mean, like, I swear to God, and...
Me too.
I would even want to eat it more, since it would have, like, the remaining scent of her burp or fart in it. And same with if I'm eating food, I would just love her randomly to fart on my food, regardless of what I'm eating, or burp on it, to add some sexy stink to it. So not only am I inhaling and taking the aroma and scent of her delicious poop, I mean, also, my dream girl would also be a girl who would burp in my ears. I mean, oh my God, that would just be so incredibly hot. Just know that I love girls.
I'm the exact opposite of him. I hate the sound of burp, bro. I hate when I can smell a burp. I don't know what it. I'd much rather smell a fart than a burp. I don't know what it is. If I can smell your fucking burp, I don't know what it. It actually disgusts me. I hate getting burped like right next to me. I hate it actually.
who do stuff like that. I really respect and care about and really hold up girls who are able to do that, who are able to step out of what's considered the norm in society. You're missing out and you have no idea what you're missing out on. I'm just going to say it right there. Just point blank. You're missing out. You have absolutely no idea what you're missing out on. You're missing out on something so wonderful and so lovely, like the best possible thing any hot, sexy, gorgeous, beautiful, attractive, good-looking, cute, pretty girl could ever do for you to please and pleasure you. And I would love more than anything a girl to do all those things for me if she were either dating me or married to me. Like, I would literally love her to the ends of the earth.
I'm telling you, this pales in comparison to some of the stuff that I had to cut out. I mean, there's talks of eating certain things, and it's overall just harrowing to experience in its full entirety.
Wait,
he particularly goes into detail about how he needs
channel?
someone who can burp and fart on command, and that if they would only do that, he would love them to the ends of the earth. I'm sure at the time many people thought that Isaac was trolling.
Yeah, no, Isaac he knew that.
The absolute seriousness in which he states all of these things is almost comedic, but if you watch any of his other videos, you realize that he rarely talks about anything that he is not serious about. To him, all of these topics that he is discussing are extremely serious and very real. As he showed us with the Cars movie, to him, farts are no joking matter, and neither is the pursuit of his dream girl, because he does not just limit himself to thinking these things, he also goes out and contacts women to do them for him. Not that he has ever been successful, as he is a self-proclaimed black-pilled incel virgin, but that doesn't exclude him from trying. And needless to say, these interactions don't usually...
Guys, he got interviewed. Somebody interviewed him. Wait, we might need to watch that. I might need to watch that.
...go very well.
Because back in 2017, here's a funny little story for you people to laugh at, I guess, if or not you want. I was on Instagram about the time I made an Instagram account, and there was this really hot girl, like, whatever, from Texas, I think, or at least I'm pretty sure. Black girl, but she was mixed. I think she was probably probably half black and half white. But she looked like she could have been half black and half Mexican or whatever. But anyway,
probably a baddie, all right.
One day, just randomly, I don't know why, but I kind of do know why, but I don't know why I actually said it. But I simply just said straight up, "Can I suck a fart out of your butt," or something like that? And she replied very soon.
You can't open. Damn, that was the first DM to it. You can't open up with that. I'm not gonna lie. Wow. You didn't even try to like ease her into it. You know what I'm saying? Make her realize he's a normal guy, then reveal he kind of has a degenerate side to him. Nah, just immediately. I want to suck a fart at your ass. Like, bro.
With you ugly ass, potato headed looking N-word. Well, you ugly ass old or something like that, potato headed looking N-word. And I love potatoes. I love eating potatoes. And I do agree 100% that my head and face shape is similar to that of a potato.
Isaac is also frustrated at the number of women who seem to have no interest in the things that he is interested in, and has so many prerequisites for being his girlfriend that very few would fall into the category of even eligible. Realizing this, for a time, Isaac became a self-proclaimed furry, stating that while he would not wear the suits, he definitely had an appreciation for the art and culture, specifically referencing a Winnie the Pooh movie that he really enjoyed, proclaiming the actresses' voices to be hot. He would also profusely blame Disney for turning him into a furry, which is actually a pretty popular conspiracy theory that Disney created the furry fandom by creating all the animated movies they did of animals. I wish that I could sit here and say that this is the depth of Isaac's degeneracy, that he's simply a guy that loves burps, and is a furry. Inherently, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not coming down on burp lovers or furries,
being a
but
furry
there
is-
are a number.
Being a furry is perfectly fine. It's a perfectly acceptable thing. Just keep it private. Honestly, bro, all kinks and all of that shit is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. Just keep that shit to yourself. As long as it's in between two consenting adults, I don't give a fuck what it is. Yo kink could be putting your dick in a pine bottle and running. Wait, actually, no, that's. And then, I don't know, then having 3 Asian women beat you with baseball bats. That could be your kink. I don't give a fuck. Just keep it behind closed doors. I'm so sick of the internet right now. I don't need to see what y'all into. Y'all need to know what I'm into. Actually, I've revealed a couple things. That's right.
Of things that Isaac has talked about and discussed being into that are very well worth some criticism. One of which being his obsession with Kanika Jenkins. For months, Isaac would not be quiet about this woman named Kanika, how he was such a fan of hers, he loved her, and it was really just the ideal woman for him. Without the context of this being a bad thing, you'd probably think, good for him, he's finally starting to get out of this woman-hating phase. Until we just do a little bit of research into who Kanika Jenkins was. On September 10th, 2017, Kanika Jenkins, a 19-year-old from Chicago, Illinois, was found dead inside of a latched freezer. It is speculated that after a night of partying with her friends, heavily intoxicated, she wandered into this freezer where she became trapped and sadly passed away. Kanika's story would be covered by various national news organizations who still update the public on the family's status. Isaac would have absolutely no way of knowing that this young girl even existed if it wasn't for these news stories of her tragic passing. And it is extremely disturbing that he holds her up as some sort of romantic figure merely because this is how he found her, describing her as the perfect model of what his dream girl would be. Isaac has also made comments comparing himself to Elliot Rodger on numerous occasions, despite never
your dream girl is never mind.
outwardly displaying violence or threatening anyone but his trolls. I find his obsession with Kanika and Elliot to be quite unnerving, especially with someone who has proclaimed his hate for young women on numerous occasions. Despite his obsessions and intricacies, he still had amassed a fair amount of people who completely agreed with everything he said and loved him as a content creator. They would send him donations, show him support in the comments sections, and generally commiserate about their lives. That is, until he made one of his most controversial remarks. And
oh my god, there's young men out here that agree with everything he says. We need to get the AI, the human-looking robots out quick, so they can just date these niggas right here. I'm not gonna lie. We need the sex robots immediately. We can't wait till 2030. We need the sex robots now. So niggas like this and me, I want a sex robot. Never.
even some of his most die-hard fans turned on him after this. In a video that he posted to YouTube, he would go on usually about his desire for a girlfriend, and the certain acts that he desired them to perform. Only this time he was hyper-specific about the age range that he wanted this person to be, claiming that he preferred it would be either a 14, 15, or 16-year-old African-American girl. Isaac had gone on this far, receiving a fair amount of criticism for what he had been saying. The stuff about hating women, the stuff about hating movies, about hating certain people, it was all going to get him a relative amount of backlash, but it would be nothing compared to what this would bring down on him. Almost immediately, Isaac made a video claiming that he regretted the comments that he had made about African-American teenagers. Despite this, people would begin to spread clips and further discuss Isaac in a broader fashion. He had been observed for years now, don't get me wrong there have been people watching him since damn near the start, but he would not come to the wider attention of the public until he made these comments. There is no finer example than the video made by a content creator called The Grease Wizard. He would make a video discussing the various things that Marshall had done, as well as claimed, and this would expose him to a far wider audience. Isaac would come to absolutely despise The Grease Wizard for supposedly making a video that painted him in a negative light, often insulting him for being either blue-pilled or British. He would also see coverage from another YouTuber called Based Shaman, who would livestream Isaac's antics
we know Based Shaman. I'm pretty sure I watched Based Shaman on stream. Yeah, I like that.
The regular. Even though he truly hated the content creators that were covering him on their channels, this would pale in comparison to the people who doxed him. Isaac's dox had been known for quite a while, and after the comments he had made about the teenage African-American girl, harassment started to ramp up. Both he and his family would grow so sick of it that he would leave the internet completely, and there would be no sign of him for a couple of months. This was very out of the norm for him because he was posting at least once a month for years. He had claimed in a community post that he was officially quitting because of the trolls.
Bro, he doesn't look that bad with facial hair. Just get a lineup. Bro, he wants black women? Nigga, just go get you a lineup. Put on a little bit of weight, get a little buff. I promise you, they're gonna be calling you white chocolate within a year. Brother. I need it. Actually, I don't want to talk to this man. He a little weird. Never mind. I'm about to say, let me
In
talk to
early
him. I can get him.
2024, Isaac Holmes would return to the
I
internet,
get
this
him
time
right,
under a
yeah.
new name, Darth Nihilus. In the time that Isaac had spent off the internet, he managed to grow a pretty impressive beard. It truly looked like a new him, and I thought maybe a new mentality would follow. But I was a fool to think so, and it truly shows my newness to Marshal Mathers IV lore. Because if there is one thing about Isaac, well, he never changes.
Us incels also have immense, extreme, severe hatred and anger towards young women because we ourselves as incel men have never been successful with them. We've never been able to, easily and successfully get into relationships with them, whether it
So
be
you
boy and
hate
girlfriend
women
relationship or
because of
husband and
that?
wife relationship. Because when it comes to us incel men, whenever
Do gay incels exist? Yeah, because incels are always directed towards women. They always hate women. Bro, my fucking webcam. Like I was saying, incels are always directed towards women. They always hate women. Do gay incels exist? I've never heard of some shit like that.
we like a woman or women and have a crush on them or whatever, we're too shy of them, we're uncomfortable, nervous, stressed out, and intimidated around them or by them, by their presence, by their physical attractiveness. And it's just too much for us. It's too overwhelming. It's too overbearing
Damn.
for us in some men, even being in the physical presence of any beautiful women anywhere.
While he may have had a new look, it was the same old Isaac. His main content consists of rants, why movies should have been released on certain dates, and why he hates certain people and objects, just like it's always been. But this time something actually was different. He created a TikTok account as well. He would go by the Black-Pilled Joker, and mainly what he would post over there would be news articles pertaining to his incel mindset, thirst trap photos of certain celebrities who were usually blonde and in their mid-20s, and of course arguments in his comments sections, which happen quite frequently. He seems to be using the platform of TikTok to just be getting into arguments with people, as he will respond to nearly every critical comment on his TikTok page. Something that was also new with Isaac is that he had found a job. He claimed that in his time offline that he had spent a couple of months working for Popeyes, but he also claims that it was simply too much for his parents to drive there, as well as the fact that he has to poop at least 3 times in the morning every day. These would be
Yeah. Around there. Yeah, around that time.
the main factors that played into the end of his employment there. Usually Isaac would talk about how it was physically impossible for him to get a job because he didn't have a laptop, and that no job would ever pay him the amount that he needed to get his beloved gaming PC. So this was a pretty big change
dropped
for
out of
Isaac.
high school,
And even
of
though he only
course.
held the job for a couple of months, it was more than he'd ever worked in his entire life before. It seemed like things had settled back into normal for him. Incel rants, the usual. That is, until a YouTuber approached him to do an in-real-life documentary. Your favorite son is a YouTuber who usually covers video game content, but recently has been branching out into creating documentaries over eccentric internet characters. He wanted to do one of these such
that's the guy who made the
documentaries on
documentary.
Marshal Mathers IV. Isaac wholeheartedly agreed to be a part of
Or the
it,
interview.
wanting to share his side of the story to the world. Your favorite son would conduct an interview with Marshal Mathers IV that ended up being so graphic that he canceled the entire documentary. Isaac was absolutely open and unapologetic about his likes, especially towards teenage girls, which he mentions out of almost nowhere. Your favorite son would also review Isaac's Instagram account, which is full of liked photos of teenage girls in bikinis, as well as various photos and videos of people farting and burping. I would like to say that I completely respect your favorite son's decision on this end. Isaac's comments on this kind of stuff were very limited in the past, so he had no real way of knowing. It had really been years since he had said something like this, but your favorite son would describe him as completely unremorseful and unapologetic when discussing these topics. And sadly, this wouldn't be the end of sus things found out about Isaac. A series of leaked DMs between Isaac and a troll showed that he had a certain infatuation with his sisters. I don't really want to go deeper than that, just know that it is very disturbing because they are much younger than him, and seem to still live in the same home as he does. As where previously Isaac could feign regret, now he has nothing
my
to hide
God.
behind. He has talked about these
Bro,
things
what did I
on
say about
numerous
these weird-ass
occasions,
niggas,
and
bro?
obviously holds them in high regard. I can already see it now. He will probably claim that I am painting him in a negative light throughout this whole video, and that I have taken into consideration absolutely none of his hardships and struggles. But I would also like to say this: everything that I've discussed has either come from Isaac's mouth or typed by his hands. No one has forced or even coerced any of this information out of him. He freely shares all of these thoughts, opinions, and beliefs. Isaac, on the chance that you are listening, I know that you hate advice, so I'm going to spit some facts. This pessimistic attitude that you have is absolute poison. The world that you have created for yourself in your mind has
This is for Isaac, not me. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. What this is, all this has told me, right, about how I need to live my life. And there's always a nigga worse than me. Hey, there's always a nigga worse. Hey, there's always somebody doing worse than you. This nigga, he wants women to fart in cereal bags so he can eat them for later. Again, I don't care what your kinks are. Just keep that shit private. Because I will judge you.
I think first things first.
I really want to watch this. So I watch this on my own stream. I don't know, but I gotta go because I gotta take my little bit practice. That's what the little nigga was talking about. Have a great day, bro. Listen to me. If you struggling getting women, I want you to know that nigga Isaac is out here. That nigga Isaac is out here just DMing women. Can I suck a fart at your ass? You can't do worse than that. Hey, look. Just put yourself out there. That's all I can say.